Lead together, embrace change, enhance everyone's journey. The 3 core principles of SmartStop. A leader in self-storage real estate across North America. Reinforce why we're proud to bring you SheEO Lead-In, the podcast featuring curated conversations with powerful women sharing their impactful wisdom. It's a self-knowledge, self-discovery, and self-preneurship audio storage vault created by and for women. SmartStop's presentation of SheEO Lead-In begins right now.
Today we're here with Laurie Gonzalez, council member at the Rincon Tribe.
It's good to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I mean that.
Thank you. I think this is going to be a really fun discussion because a lot of people wonder what it is that you do. You're a council member. So a council member, it's very different than local government. What do you do every day? And I'm guessing it'll be very different every day.
Well, so our council is 5 people, a chair, a vice chair, and 3 council people. And we are the administrative, executive, and judicial branches of our sovereign tribe's government. So we do a lot. I might go to a Southern California tribal meeting, represent for our tribe. I might be asked to go speak on our culture, listen to grievances from tribal members and concerns they have, safety issues, and then from that, usually we will start talking about, well, how do we keep them from speeding through the reservation? So people don't realize this, but because we're sovereign, we can enact laws, but they can only be enforced within our reservation boundaries. So that's what we do all day.
Well, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
So it's and how many what's your population?
Well, we have a large population, probably about 1,800 people living there, but they're not all tribal members.
Right.
So we do have people that rent from tribal members, and, we have a couple businesses on the reservation as well. So people come in to work, and then they end up renting and living right there. Tribal members, we probably have about 250 approximately living on the reservation.
And then you have people that come in and work actually on the reservation.
Yes. We have, Harrah's, Rincon Casino, and we have about 1,700 employees there. But we also have a travel plaza. We have employees there. And then we have people that work for the tribal government in IT, accounting, marketing, all of that. Regular little city.
That's right. And you have lots of people coming in every day with those workers. So let's go back to, you didn't actually grow up in San Diego County, right?
No, I didn't. My grandfather was part of something called the relocation program, where they tried to get Indians off reservations and mainstreamed. So he went off to Oklahoma, went to Haskell, which was an Indian college, and then came back, and there wasn't really any work, so he moved to L.A. I was born in Corona, grew up in L.A. County, and then in 1994, I moved to the reservation. And I'd been there to visit. I'd been there to stay with cousins for a couple of weeks in the summer, but now I can't imagine leaving San Diego, ever.
Well, San Diego County is beautiful, and you can literally do everything. I mean, we've got the beach, we have the sand out in the desert. I mean, the mountains. I mean, we really are very well-rounded.
Amazingly so. Yeah. One of the things, I had friends in LA that said, "You're going to miss us. You're going to miss Hollywood." And it's like, where else can you live where I can take 40 minutes, go up, play in the snow, come back, change my clothes, another 40 minutes, I'm down at the beach roasting marshmallows.
Right.
You really can't do that in LA, but you can do it in San Diego.
Yes, it's amazing. So, fun childhood story. You mentioned that you went to the reservation as a kid to spend time with your cousins and whatnot. Do you have like a fun story that people don't know about you necessarily?
About coming down to the reservation?
Well, it doesn't have to be about that. Just something fun that people don't know about you.
When I was younger, as I said, we moved to, we grew up in LA. My grandfather started the Los Angeles Indian Center, which is now, I think, the Indian Center of LA and Orange County. So when I was 15, we had this little pageant thing. It was an Indian Day picnic we put on at Sycamore Park, and I represented Miss Indian Missions. And the judges were Woody Strode. He had been a basketball player. He was in a couple movies. Jonathan Winters, who was a comedian. And then I almost died because Ann B. Davis, she played the maid, Alice on the Brady Bunch. Wow. I was just starstruck. I'm just staring at this woman. And they were there to judge the little pageant. But to me, that was my first taste of being around celebrities. And I would, to this day, it's like, I got to meet Ambi Davis, and my grandkids are like, who's that?
Oh, well, everyone knows the Brady Bunch.
And the minute I say Brady Bunch, they know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's amazing.
That was fun.
Yeah.
That was really a highlight of my preteen years.
Oh, yes, definitely. So how long have you been on the council?
Since 2011.
Okay.
And then prior to that, in I think the end of 1999, the tribe entered a compact with the state. We started building the casino, so I went to work for them.
Ah.
So I worked for them until 2011 when I ran for and won and got on council. I couldn't do both, so I had to leave my recruiting job there. And I've been on that since 2011. Seems like forever, but I enjoy it.
Politics and women. Not easy, is it?
It's not easy, but it's what you make of it.
That's true.
I mean, you know the circles yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You can choose to just blend right in and be one of the guys, or you can just stay true to yourself.
Yep.
And that's what I've chosen to do. I don't consider myself a politician. I consider myself a servant.
That's right. Me too.
I know.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I love about you. I have seen what you have done to your city and how amazing it is, and yet you're so humble about it. And it's like, oh my God, you've transformed. It's this whole city, and it's just booming. So you just do your job.
That's
I love
right.
that.
Yeah. And I think oftentimes, not all men, but many men tend to say, okay, well, I've got to deal with this politician part of it, the politics, and I would even say the good old boys, and to some degree, for me, I've actually had people say, oh, you should, and almost nearly every time if someone says you should, that kind of leads me to think I probably shouldn't, because they're trying to change me. I actually had someone say to me early on, you probably shouldn't wear a cross because you might offend people. I'm like, well, I'm a Christian, so how is that offensive? It's who I am. And if that's offensive, well, that's, I don't care about that. I mean, I need to do my job. And again, keep my head down, just do my job, make it, we've got one job and you have the same job exactly. And that is to enrich people's lives, to make their lives better, to improve their quality of life. It's not that difficult if you actually just stay on the mission, right?
And like you said, and stay true to who you are.
That's right.
I'm the same way. It's like, well, if this one thing about me bothers you so much, then the problem isn't with me. Right. Because if you're going to judge me by that, then you're not judging me by looking at the full picture of what I'm trying to do for you.
Right.
Yeah. So, and there's also that, I don't know, I had this when I first came on council, and there was already another woman on. She was the vice chair, and we've had a couple women on council, but mostly men. And, I'd speak up in a meeting, and I'd come up with an idea, and crickets. 1 or 2 months later, somebody else repeats my idea. And it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. So I think sometimes they only half listen as well. and you have to make them without being so pushy that you alienate. It's,
Right.
that old saying, Ginger Rogers did everything Fred Astaire did, but she did it in heels and she did it all backwards.
Yep.
And never got credit for that.
Right.
It's the same with us.
Well, and I think too, if we came in and we were pushy about it, it would come off very differently than if a man were pushy about it. I am the most persistent person. I would say my tenacity is just unrivaled, but I'm very nice in my presentation, but I'm very, very strong in it as well. And I see that in you, that you're not over the top as far as you've got a very sweet demeanor and very calm, very collected. But if someone were a man doing the same job, they would probably be seen differently.
Yes. And the one thing, and I struggle, I'm sure you have in the past too, with being nice and being friendly and being open. Sometimes it translates into she's weak.
Yep.
She's a pushover.
Yep.
Look at her just smiling. But what they don't understand is you can't make me do anything I don't want to do. I am not going to. And I see the same thing in you. And your tenacity is incredible. But the fact that because we're females in what has in the past been male-dominated, arena, anything that isn't masculine is automatically assumed to be a weakness, when I feel it's a strength. As women, we tend to be more social from the beginning. I worked in early childhood education. It was always the little boys that were hanging on their moms and crying and didn't want to stay. Right. And the little girls were getting together with the other little girls and saying, let's play, and you do this and I'll do that. So we learn at a very early age how to work together.
Yes.
And it stays with us.
Yeah, I'd agree with that wholeheartedly. And let's talk a little bit about the whole mean girl situation, because there are women out there that don't want women to succeed. I tell everyone this. Guess what? There's always going to be another woman in the room that might be more this, more that. It doesn't matter. There's a place for every single one of us. And back to your point of working together and being able to accomplish things. For me, I don't need to get the credit. I need to get what I want done. So I figure out a way to strategize and work that out. And I see always kind of your little wheels turning exactly in the same way.
I'm thinking of all the scenarios that apply. Yeah. You're so right. And you touched on mean girls who somehow feel threatened. And maybe I think sometimes there's always two sides to a story. And I tend sometimes to, cut a little slack and think, okay, she's had to claw her way up too. So if you've had your claws out for a long time, to claw your way into a position, it's hard to retract them. Everybody is potentially, going to try and take away what you've worked for or earned. I try to disable that by being, understanding and kind. But I have seen women dislike another woman and not want her to get ahead because of the color of her hair, or she's so young and beautiful. And it's hard to say I'm a little jealous. It's easier to say, oh, she's no good at her job. And we should be lifting each other up, because at the end of the day, if we're all in the same arena, then we're all working for the same thing. Yeah. And I'm one of those. I'm like you, and that's one of the things I just love about you is you don't need to be in the spotlight. You just need to know that you did what you said you were going to do.
That's right.
And some women need to be in the spotlight. Okay, go ahead, have it, take it.
Yep.
Are you happy? Now, let's work together. Let's continue to work together. And maybe they'll get beyond that. And if not, so what? The job got done. The community got served.
But Laurie, at the end of the day, you're going to building something is really important. I mean, you do that every day, and bringing people together is really important. But you can get a lot more done if you just stick to the job.
Yes.
Just stick to the job. And in some ways, I think leadership is all about bringing people together. It really is. I mean, you can't get anything done with just one person. You've got to bring people together. And that's why I think women make excellent leaders, because they do have that tendency, not always, but do have the tendency to bring people together for a common good of, this is what we want to accomplish. How are we going to do it? It's not going to be you working alone or me working alone. It's bringing people together, right? We've
been doing it since preschool.
Yeah. Yep.
Since the first time we got in the playground and saw other little girls and said, let's play together. Yep. Let's make the playhouse together. Let's do whatever it is together. I love that. And you're right. I raised boys and girls. My boys were always, doing things competitively. And my daughters liked to work together. I mean, maybe that's a stereotype, but it was true in my house.
Yeah.
And I know I couldn't get anything done if I didn't collaborate. That's my favorite word. Let's collaborate. Yep. Let's work together. Oh my God, I've been trying to do what you're doing. How did you do it? Work with me.
Right.
I am humble enough to say, I don't know everything. Teach me.
Yep. I love that. So we're going to take a quick quick pause for a Smart Stop.
SmartStop knows the winning connection is when we elevate success together. SmartStop Self Storage, a California company with nearly 200 properties and over 15 million square feet of rentable storage in the US and Canada, is committed to positively impacting the communities we serve on the national and local level. By aligning our core principles of leading together, embracing change, and enhancing everyone's journey with local initiatives. To learn more about our core values, our locations, and career opportunities, please visit us at smartstopselfstorage.com.
So let's talk a little bit about barriers. What do you think your most significant barrier is in your career?
Wow. There have been a couple, but I think one of the biggest barriers, especially in the arena that we're in politics and legislation and guiding governments, is people aren't comfortable with change. So when you come in as someone new, they're not always receptive because they haven't figured you out, what your angle is. Mm-hmm. So I've had to prove myself at the table. I'm here for the very same reasons that you are. I'm here to make our reservation safer. I'm here to, make sure that our industry is prosperous. I'm here to make sure that our people get educated and have health care and things that we didn't have access to before. I'm here for those same reasons. Everybody always thinks, so what's the real deal here? You've probably heard that.
What
too.
is the real deal? Why does there have to be something underlying? Exactly. I know
but you have to prove that you have to prove that there isn't.
Right.
Like, I'm not just here because, I want the salary, or I'm not just here because I want attention. I'm here because I want to do something good.
Right.
And like you said earlier, you don't need the limelight.
No.
And that just reinforces we're here to make a positive change.
Yep.
Make a difference that really affects people's lives and gives them the success that they need.
So do you feel like there's resistance with men or no?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, yes. And I go up to Sacramento sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the certain hotels. You there's all the politicians over in that corner of that bar just talking away, but you don't see the women. I don't know that we're always comfortable in that atmosphere.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to break into. I felt it the first time I went as a councilwoman. I've been a councilwoman since 2011. It's 2026. We walk in, I still feel it.
Yeah.
It's tangible.
Yes, I'd agree.
And the only way that I myself have been able to deal with this is one-on-ones. I just take, if I've got someone who's got something I need, or this party does, or this group, I just get in, start talking to one, and work my way in that way.
Yeah.
Because you, as a female, generally, I found, have to be the one to break the ice.
Yeah.
And it's thick ice, let me tell you.
And don't you feel like you have to be more prepared too?
Oh, yeah. You can't slip up. Mm-mm. Because if they feel you don't know what you're talking about, or you don't have what it takes to get it done, they're not going to invest their time.
Even if you have the record, which is surprising, don't you think?
Knowing what I know now, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But coming on new, yes. It's like, well, I got elected. I've done a couple great things, but it's never enough. You're constantly proving yourself as a woman in politics, or in government. I hate the term politics.
I do too, actually.
In government.
Yeah.
Constantly. And you're only as good as that last, triumph.
Right.
And it fades quickly.
It does. Well, what about role models? I mean, do you have other people that are in the political arena that you look at and you go, I really like what they're doing, and kind of replicated yourself? Or I think for me, I've learned as much from people that I didn't want to be my leadership style where I went, oh, definitely don't want that. So I have to be careful of that.
Yes, I have seen women in action in Indian country, and I think, oh my God, that's not how I want to be. And there are others that I think, okay, I got to find out how she got to this point. Lynn Valbuena from Yamava, chairwoman, has been in the arena for a long time. Back when she was probably one of the very first in Indian country, maybe. Not that she's old or anything, but and it's a very successful tribe, and she has the qualities that I really like. And Erica Pinto, Hamul, young, vibrant, up and coming, and I remember our tribe going to City Hall in San Diego to support her. They wanted to build a casino. They're in a very small area. They're like every tribe that has gaming. Before that, we had nothing. We had no economic base. I talked about us being a sovereign, government, sovereign state. But we don't have a tax base like everybody else does.
Right.
So I saw she went to she was at City Hall, and we went to support her. And she was young at the time, and nervous about it, and she just pushed forward. And I have watched that woman just keep pushing forward. And sometimes you stop, and that's okay. You need to regroup. Just don't allow anything to let you slide back a little.
Right.
And so I've seen women like that, and then in my own life, even though my mother never held office or anything, she was very political. She went to every tribal council meeting, and not just that. She was involved in politics. I grew up in L.A. and in Torrance, actually, and she was involved in local politics. She was always very interested. And she was a Democrat. My dad was a Republican, and they had made a deal. We're not going to discuss politics because we won't agree.
Right.
But every once in a while they would, and they never got nasty about it. So I learned there how you can have completely different beliefs and still have a civilized conversation, and more importantly, to know when to stop. Well, if you're starting to, coming close and not yet button heads, now's the time to stop.
Well, and also to continue working for the common good of your family. I mean, that in itself is really the end goal, to work together to figure out how everyone is happy and, again, making their quality of life better. So what are some lessons learned? You walk into a room with other women that are listening to what you have to say, hinging on your every word, wanting to hear what you have to say. What would you share with them as lessons that you've learned?
Don't give up.
Yeah.
Sometimes in life, we have a dream and we want it to come true. Sometimes you have to put it on a back burner because life happens.
Yeah, sure.
But you don't have to give up. I remember being in LA. My daughter was a baby. She's 46 now. And I was working a job. It was an okay job. I liked it. It paid the bills. And I remember someone saying, "What do you want to do?" And I think I was in my mid to late 20s. I said, "One day I want to work for my tribe." And I just want to work for them. Had no idea how, but I wanted to do that.
Yeah.
So I moved there in my late 30s. And I worked for our tribal Head Start, which we had for about 6 or 7 years. And then I worked at our casino for 11, and then I got on council. I had no idea that's where I would end up. I just knew I wanted to make a difference for my tribal community. And it took a while, and I didn't even know how to get there. I just started moving. Do I want to work in early childhood? Well, I'll be on the reservation. I had to weigh these things, and understand, too, that you have time.
Patience.
Patience.
Yeah, patience. Yeah, I think patience.
And your tenacity. Mm-hmm. Don't give up.
No, I agree.
If it doesn't happen today, and it doesn't happen tomorrow, that doesn't mean it's never going to happen.
Right.
It just means that your path is going to be a little more varied. But think of all that you're bringing with you as you wander down this path to your goal. You're picking up experiences, and you're bringing them with you, and it makes you even better. It enriches your knowledge base and the different people you meet. Everybody leaves a mark. Yeah. Whether it's that you learn to deal with a crabby person or what it looks like when they're coming up behind you with that knife to put in your back.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've had that too.
Sure.
It makes you aware and gives you a wisdom. Had I got on council right when I want to work for my tribe sometime, and 2 years later I'm on council, I would have failed. I wasn't ready. Sometimes life has lessons or gifts of knowledge to give to us before we reach that point. And sometimes it just happens right away. Yeah. Either way, don't give up on your dream. Damn it, don't.
Well, and I think, too, there are people that go, yeah, I want to be involved in politics. And then there are people that, like you and me, that are called to it because of circumstances and things. I don't know about you, but there was something that my city was building, and I went, I don't like that idea. That's not a good idea. And I got involved in a couple of things where I said, oh, I don't really like the track that they're on. And then I had people mentoring me to say, hey, you should run for public office. I remember the first thing I said, that's the worst idea I've ever heard. Because, my kids were little. I didn't see that in myself. And I think, when you're called to do it, you've got to answer. You've got to do it. You've got to follow whatever it is, the path that you start, and then that's when it happens. That's when you create magic because you've got the right motivation and you have the right path.
And you know what, to the point, you had small children. Sometimes you think, well, I can't because of this and I can't because of that. Yeah. It comes to you when it comes to you. Right. You reach out and you do it when you can do it. And sometimes it's just a matter of becoming more sure of yourself. Mm-hmm. I mean, if someone had said a long time ago, I moved to the reservation, started going to meetings, and sometimes, I think, oh, I don't want people to be mad at me like that. Now I don't care because I can see past that.
Right.
You can be as angry as you want with me. It doesn't matter. I'm here to do a job that's going to help you too.
Right.
And that's part of politics, the wisdom to know that you're there to help the people that just wish you the worst. but that's your calling. You're my constituency. You may not agree with me on everything, but I'm going to work I've seen you. You work as hard for those people as you do for the ones that love you.
I've had people say to me, I didn't vote for you. I'm like, that's okay. I don't care. I'm going to work just as hard for you as I would for someone that actually voted for me, because that's my job and I'm a public servant.
But I think they've seen too that the substance that you bring.
Well, that you bring too.
Well, we all do, but I remember when I first moved down here, and Cal State San Marcos was like, okay, what was Dominguez Hills? It was very small, the town, and now I look at it, all the building and all the businesses you brought in and all those things, all those people that say, well, I didn't vote for you. Look at this. Why wouldn't you vote for her now? Yeah. I've seen what you do.
Well, philosophically, people might say, well, I don't agree with you on this one thing, and then therefore I won't support you. But again, kind of back to what our jobs are. It's to have that vision of what you want to create, what you want to build. And that is, a thriving community. Government is not easy, but it's a thriving community where people are doing well, where they're prospering, where they can get educated, back to your point, and feel safe, where they can go outside. That's such a huge part of it.
I think that might be the most important part.
I'd agree with you.
Safety.
Yep.
Because safety allows you, when you don't feel safe, you don't dare to dream.
That's right.
You don't go out and try and reach those goals. You're curled up thinking, I'm not in a safe place.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right. And that's one of the things, bless the citizens of California for allowing us to have gaming, because with no tax base and we didn't have infrastructure, and now we have. You're a tribal member, you want to go to college, it's paid for. You need health insurance, you've got it. We have a fire department, and we have a security department that patrols. And, back when I first moved there, I remember saying, I got to go get milk. And my uncle, I was living on his property, he said, well, you're going to have to go to Escondido, which is 17 miles away. I said, why? He goes, well, the little store here closes at 8 because there's no business after that.
Right.
And it took me a while to get used to that. But that also applied to if you had a medical condition.
Right.
You had, to get an ambulance to come out? And if it did, it was going to take them 20 minutes, half an hour to come get you and then transport you. So, now we have ambulances and a fire department. And ironically, because we have good health insurance now, our people are healthier, most of our ambulance calls are for the community around us, Valley Center. Well,
that's a good problem to have,
but
right?
It's great that we get to help out.
That's
because they've done, in the past, we reached out to them, and now we can give back. And
that's good.
It feels great.
Yeah.
It feels great to be able to be generous. There's something when you've had nothing and everybody gives you things and you're grateful, but there's something about reaching that point where now I can give to people who have nothing that makes you, it makes you feel so good. And as a city, the programs that you've brought to San Marcos that affect even the overflow into other areas. I was at a One Safe Place gathering, and it's like people don't even realize the other side of politics is how hard we work to keep our cities and our people safe.
Well, that's back to what you said earlier. Your most important thing, it's collaborating. You have to collaborate. You have to work together. You have to bring everything that you have to the table, all of your gifts. And I would consider this advice to anyone that's listening today. Bring your gifts, leave them on the table, share them with others, because you're going to build something really wonderful, because you're bringing other people in to actually share with that. and bringing that team together and making a difference. I mean, it really is. It's making a difference because you're bringing so many people together.
Yes, and to touch on that one safe place, it's in the offices are in San Marcos. La Jolla Reservation, which is farther up the hill than us. They're working with you now. So look at the grid. Look how we've spread out this safety net for young women and boys too.
Yeah.
Everybody gets trafficked. It's horrible. Yeah. But you have helped spread this safety net over the whole area.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. So what's next for you? What are you going to do next?
Well, I was reelected and took my seat this past December, so I have 2 years. Mm-hmm. My focus is missing and murdered indigenous people and human trafficking. Yeah. Because honestly, I know we call it missing and murdered indigenous. There is a problem with it in Indian country because reservations are remote, which makes
vulnerable,
easy pickings.
Sure.
But it's all of our children.
Yeah.
Reservation or not, it's all our children. I want them to feel safe. Yeah. So we still have to work on that. I'm really engaged in that. And then reaching out and saying, how can I, like I did when I came to San Marcos and said, how can I collaborate with One Safe Place? Yes. There's other organizations I want to collaborate. Let's build this safety net.
Yeah.
That it doesn't know reservation boundaries, city boundaries. Let's cover our whole county.
And no politics either.
No.
It's for the good of everyone, which I love that.
Exactly.
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much for coming today. Thank you for sharing about your job. And thank you for being you, because you really are very extraordinary.
Oh, my God. Well, thank you, because I look at what you do, and it's like, I'm older than you, but I could consider you a role model.
Thank you.
Because of all you've done and built up commerce and everything in your city. I want to see where you go.
It affects everyone.
I need to see where you go.
Thank you.
The incredible curated SheEO conversation you just enjoyed was brought to you by SmartStop, a leader in self-storage real estate and a company that upholds its core principles of leading together, embracing change, and enhancing everyone's journey. To learn more about SmartStop, please visit smartstopselfstorage.com.
Cloudcast Media.